Hi, I'm Chris with Premier Guitar. We're at the Montreal Guitar Show, and we are visiting with Judy Threet, whose guitar has been featured in the July acoustic issue of Premier Guitar magazine. It's a really beautiful guitar and a very interesting guitar with some stories, so we were hoping maybe you'd share a few of the stories about how you construct a beautiful creation like this.
Well, this one actually started because I was at Allied Luthery in California, and they were having they had a bunch of Cocobolo sets out, and I found this one set that I just absolutely loved, just the back of it, and I took it up to sort of the cashier and said, "I'd really like this." And he said, "Well, that's really interesting because a lot of people have really wanted that, but nobody's taken it because no one can find any sides for it." So I spent another hour or so sifting through the piles and found these sides, which they may not exactly match, but they're equally fun. So that would just sort of put the back and the sides together in my head. And then when I was commissioned to build a guitar for a store, they suggested that they would like geese on the headstock. So that's the inlay that's on there, is the Canada geese. And knowing that, then I thought, well, I have a lot of bear claw Sitka around, and I really do like using bear claw. So I found this stuff in my pile, and it's a very subtle bear claw, and it sort of reminded me of sort of geese tracks. Yeah. And so I decided to use that on this. And then let's see, other things. The rosette here is Cocobolo, and it's actually book matched. And it is taken really from the wood that was sitting there and there. I mean, I don't know if it even comes across visually, some of the things that I do, but I tend to do things that just sort of make sense, to me, at least. Just sort of, it does make sense to use the wood the best that you can, and also to somehow just sort of honor. It sounds really weird, sounds sort of Californian, to sort of honor what's on the back by using some of that wood on the front as well.
It seems like the process for you is a matter of patience. I mean, you're really willing to let the wood tell you how to use it and what to do with it. When we first saw the picture of this particular peg head, we were trying to figure out how you would manage to get a cover and the different shades here to all match the grain pattern, and you said you basically just sift through and look, and how long does it take to do that?
Forever. It takes a long time to, I mean, okay, I'll start first by saying I decided a long time ago that I hated to engrave. I absolutely hate engraving. Grit Laskin is great at engraving, and I tried it a couple of times and I just didn't like it at all. And then I discovered that I could get some very nice effects by just finding the right pieces, the pieces that don't need any engraving at all. And so that winds up just taking a lot of time, but it's a lot of fun. So what I'll do is I've got a tin pie pan, and I'll take whatever material it is that I think I want to use for something, and I'll just put that in there. And I will laboriously go through each and every piece, flipping it over and seeing what's there. And if I can find a piece in that bunch, then great. If not, I'll empty it out and I'll fill another pipe. I've got a lot of material. And occasionally I've actually changed the design because I found a piece that was better. It was a really great piece.
Something more than you were looking for.
Yeah. A really good example of that is there's a picture in the article that you did of some ripples. I think maybe, is that in there? Well, if it's not, then you can see it on my website. The moon reflecting in a pond with a fly had skipped across, and there's some ripples. And I found this perfect piece for the ripples that I realized as I saw it was perfect, and it didn't really accord with the design that I started with. So I redesigned it to use that piece. So anyway, So that's sort of what's going on here, is finding these pieces that have the right sort of grain patterns and the right reflective qualities to use. That was relatively easy, time-consuming but easy. The hard bit was that these shadows that the geese are casting on the water, see, this is all lighter koa, and the shadows had to be a darker koa. And then to try to find two pieces of koa that had, yeah. But it worked out great. And then this, trying to find that would knit these two sides together. Because of, when I first started thinking about doing this sort of stuff, I would always think, oh yeah, well, the truss rod cover, I'll just use that piece that got removed for the cavity. Well, duh, that's a little tiny piece, and so I have to find a matching one. Yeah.
Well, the results are certainly stunning.
Thank you. Thank you.
So people that are interested in seeing more of your work can find you on the web?
Yes. My website is just threetguitars.com. Yeah.
Very cool. Thank you very much,
Well, thank
Judy.
you. Thank you.
I'm Chris Burgess. You're watching PremierGuitar.com.